Good evening. Hope everyone is doing well. Excuse the mess on the desk here. I was on a knife sharpening spree today, just doing the things. I got a Mora crap line. I'm not very experienced in knife sharpening, and so I have been dreading putting an edge on this one because of the type of grind it's got, and I didn't want to mess it up. And anyway, I don't know why, because I'm really good at working with metals. I don't know why sharpening knives intimidates me. I love working with metals. Anyway, that's why the mess. So, not a whole lot of updates. Had my head in news throughout the day. Several different things, to be honest. I once again got extremely frustrated this morning in a video that I had watched. And it's another case of where prepper channels are, what are you saying, converging over into news channels, or into news, I should say, not news channels. And well, they probably shouldn't. What I heard today versus the truth is disgusting. Now, before I get started, we've got street cred here. And I do want to give a little bit of a background here before I start throwing trash. We started this channel back in 2014, and when we started this channel, that was when the Michael Brown situation was going on, the Ferguson riots and all of that. We covered that in as much honesty and transparency as what we possibly could. We showed people that was dressed as National Guard going and lighting fires. We showed that on our channel. In fact, we covered it live as it was happening and was pointing it out. Then fast forward some time, and we have the situation at Malheur Wildlife Refuge. We did not cover Bundy Ranch. I mentioned it, but I didn't dive into it, and I should have, and I didn't. That was again at kind of the beginning of our run. We did cover Malheur Wildlife Refuge in depth. We are one of two news agencies that held interviews with the final 4 holdouts at the refuge during the time that it was going on. And on top of that, we were the first ones to come out with the zoomed in, steadied footage of the assassination of Lavoy Finicum. So I do believe we've got a little bit of a background for truth and transparency here at the Watchman News. So when I hear prepping channels like Magic Prepper going on and on and on and on with lies about a situation in which he's pissing on his own rights in doing so, it pisses me off. And I'm not going to sit here and rag on him. That's not what this is about. But, dude, you might be able to delete my comment, but you can't delete my video. You can't delete my video. Oh. People like that piss me off. So here's what I want you to do. Because you've got homework in this too, because I can't do everything for everybody. Sometimes we have to do things to know for ourselves. So I'm going to show you real quick, kind of a real simple process. Oops, if I'm on the right screen. Otherwise, it's not. I'm going to go to youtube.com, and I'm going to put in the search bar, Rise of the Moors. Alright, and you're going to find a channel. I mean, it didn't pop up in the channels. I wonder why. Here it is, right here, Rise of the Moors. You'll see 5 ladies. Click on that, and then click on videos. Okay? How easy is that? How easy is that? Not very hard at all. So, it starts out with one here titled Peaceful. That is the first video that starts out what happened that evening. Now, your homework, if you so choose, if you want to know why I'm so upset and so aggravated, is to go listen to Magic Prepper's video that he did talking about this, the one he put out this morning, and listen to Peaceful, Moroccan Peace, We are not anti-government. Those 3 videos are the videos that they shot, or the live streams, I should say, that he put out during the event. Okay? Now, they have been live today. Today they went twice live. Jamal, I hope I'm saying his name correctly, he explained in this video when they went live today what the deal was with the claims that they ran off into the woods. Didn't go down quite like that. And he explains it, and I'll let him explain it. Okay? Now, I get it. I get it. These guys go against everything that people want to feel warm and cozy about. Not everybody, but the majority in this country. Okay? I get that. All right? But so did the Bundys in certain aspects. Right? So it is what it is. I'm going to give these guys the same respect that I did the Bundys. I'm going to give them the same respect that I'll give you or anybody else. For one, the whole religious persecution thing, I get it. I identify as Hebrew Israelite. How do you think that is accepted? Right? So, not that I've been accosted for it or anything like that, but I'm just saying, in the general consensus, if you tell the average person that oh, I'm Hebrew Israelite, they're going to look at you and go, what the hell? Or they're going to at least think it. They may not say it. If they see me walking around with zitziot hanging from my waist, I'm an oddball, right? So I get it. I get the religious persecution part of it for being different. And let's just face it. Another factor to it is that they're a black organization. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. So a lot of these views that channels and that they're coming from is honestly bigoted views. That's the root of it, the base of it. And it's sick. It's disgusting. You go watch the video. All this content here, any one of us can go see right now. Rise of the Moors. You see the channel right there. They're not hiding nothing. And this ain't their first dance. They've had to deal with issues before. You can look on their YouTube channel and see that. This is not their first dance. I have a pretty high confidence in their abilities in court. So we'll see where this goes as far as the legal. And I will be watching this. I will be keeping an eye on this and keeping up on this and updating on this as long as I can get updates. I don't have any type of inside communication or connection or anything like that. This is how I'm getting my information. The same way that you can get your information. You know, I talk a lot about different things that go on in the world, and I say it all the time, that the information in many cases that I get isn't anything that anyone else can't obtain. It's just that I know where to obtain it, and I have the time to put it together. That's it. That's all. It's not anything that's, you know, for the 99% of the information I share with you is not secret information in any way, shape, or form. I have shared tidbits here and there that may not be too well liked, but it's not like I've got a huge 50 billion people channel or nothing. So all 5 of you might have heard it. Anyway, well, I know there's 7 in there now, but yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. I think what this boils down to, this situation that these men were in, I haven't tried to seek permission to play their videos or anything, so I don't want to just play their videos. I haven't sought permission, and they've got way more on their plate than dealing with me asking permission to play their content. Anyway, I do urge people to go check it out. I do urge you to listen to them. The guy, you couldn't have been any more outwardly peaceful, diplomatic, and openly wanting to seek resolution than what this guy was. I mean, in my opinion, he was textbook. He was textbook. And he did an incredible job. Absolutely incredible job, in my opinion. I do believe what they say. I do believe that they were just on their way to training and that they had just stopped to refuel. I firmly believe that. There is nothing about these guys' behavior whatsoever that leads me to believe that they were not being 100% straight about their intent. There's nothing. There is nothing. Everything they do, he makes sure to do out in the open. Runs his own body cam. Runs the entire time. They're not, on one of the live streams earlier that they did, there was somebody in the chat, and it could be bots, it could be government agents, it could whatever. It could just be some jackass. But somebody's in there talking about how they wanted to kill cops and all that. What? At no point that I could tell did they ever even get the slightest bit hostile. In fact, they were doing everything they could to avoid reaching that. I mean, and then to say that that's what their intent was? Absolutely not. And like I say, the saddest part of it all is the majority of this. Hang on. Blue, knock it off. Blue's over there scruffing like crazy. You better quit. worst part of this is that the majority of the attitude that these people are getting is based on who they are, what they represent. And I'm sure I don't represent everything that they do. I don't stand behind everything they stand behind, as I'm sure they don't stand behind everything that I do. As long as they're not malicious and their intent isn't malicious, and I don't believe it is, who the hell am I? That's the thing that I don't get. As long as they don't have harmful intent, who am I to say that they can't have an armed group of individuals? Look at how people are acting because of their difference in religious belief or spiritual belief, however you want to word it, and because of their skin color and because of their affiliations. Look at how people are acting towards them. You don't think they need to build a protective force? They have done nothing to harm others. Yet others are ready to pounce on them. And it's ridiculous. For what? Because they're different? Man, difference is what built this country. The United States of America. It was supposed to stay that way. But then it all became centralized and federalized, obviously. You get the nightmare we've got. These guys aren't the enemy. Plain and simple. They're not the enemy. And from my understanding, they were doing everything to the letter. From my understanding, this is from my understanding. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a legal professional or anything else, but I have Googled a bit of it. And anybody that knows my Googling, it's pretty serious. And from what I can tell, the man's 100% with what he says in his legal claim. He was completely within his right to be doing what he was doing. The problem came after he gave all of the information and everything to law enforcement, instead of law enforcement just hanging back, making sure that they get their vehicle refueled safely, securely, and back on their way. No, we had to push the authoritarian bullshit. And that's where the problem started. Now, I'm not saying that the officer knew the law. In fact, I'm pretty confident he probably didn't. But what do they tell us? Ignorance is no excuse. I'm worried that this is going to be used to get spun out of control, to be used to take more rights away from the American people, And it would be very easy for them to do that with a case like this, because you've got a myriad of jackasses that have run out there and spread a bunch of lies that they heard on mainstream media. And not even go to a publicly available YouTube page and spend, that's 15 minutes, that's 5 minutes, so we've got 20 minutes, another 23, another 16, another 4.5. Come on. Less than an hour's time to watch all of that video content to catch up from the start to the last live stream 3 hours ago, which was another live stream. Both Live with Jamal, if I'm saying his name correctly, and the Peace Moors, both those videos are live streams with inmates. So I don't think it's the same one. I think it's two different inmates. But I know Jamal explains a lot of the stuff, answered not that I could ask questions and him answer, but I had questions and he answered those questions. Like the deal with the tree line, what the deal was with that. And his explanation, yeah, I completely believe him. Completely. I would have done the exact same thing. I would have done the same thing. And any one of you that knows a damn thing about tactical operations would have did the same thing as well, because it's what you do. Cover and concealment. It is what you do. There was a reason why they took cover and concealment, but you probably don't know that because Fox News didn't tell you. It's crazy. Folks, I've said this before, and if you take anything away from the show, take this away, please. Freedom isn't about what you're willing to fight for yourself. That's a selfish notion. Freedom is what you're willing to fight for the people that disagree with you. That's freedom. That's freedom. When you defend other people's rights to do whatever it is that they see fit, as long as they aren't harming others. That is what it is to be a patriot. Not to be bigoted, short-sighted, statist, conditional, hypocritical. That's not patriotism, nor is it any type of Christian-based action. Know them by their fruits. If you take anything away, remember that it's about the freedoms that you're willing to defend for others, even those you don't agree with, especially those you don't agree with. You don't have to be, like I said, I can't sit there and tell you that I'm with these folks, that I support what they do, because I don't know them. But I haven't seen anything yet that they've done that shows malice. So until I see that, then I do believe the command is I am supposed to love them as my neighbor. It's pretty simple. And I'll bet you, if you ask these folks, they'll tell you that in their belief system, they have the exact same thoughts, the exact same things. Because the majority of us, well, no, I can't say the majority of us. Some of us want to live in peace. The majority want to live in conflict. But there are some of us that want to live in peace. And the sad thing is that we're often looked at as outcasts. And in fact, we're often pointed at as if we're evil, as if we're violent, as if we have malicious intent. When our only intent is to be left alone and to live our lives as we see fit and to worship the Creator as we see fit. That's all. And I really honestly feel that's all these folks are doing. I'm not going to get all emotional because they've got weapons. Why? To sit there and act all offended when liberals get upset about weapons, but then turn around and get upset because these gentlemen had them. I have to search for the motive there. What's the motive for getting upset? When it's, I mean, there's only a few things that I can see different, like skin color and religious belief and affiliations. None of which are negative or malice or bad. Just have to search for motives. I don't know. It's important. Motives are important. Lets you know where you really truly stand with people. Not the falseness that they say, or the charisma that they have. Sorry, I'm rambling and ranting. So anyway, let me quit with that. I urge you, please. And if you want to know why it pissed me off with Magical Prepper's video, go watch it. And then go watch the Rise and Wars videos for yourself. Go see for yourself. I just can't stand when people want to openly and so strongly piss on their own rights. And I'm searching for the motive. Are we just too lazy to research? Is it we're bigoted? What's the issue there, man? I don't know. That gets me. There are some things that will set me off. And when I see somebody that's ready and willing to throw rights under the table because they don't like somebody's ideals, so they're ready to piss everybody's rights away just to burn down the other, no. I wish there was a way you could piss your own rights away and nobody else's, but unfortunately that's not the way it works here. The left pisses away the rights of the right, and the right pisses away the rights of the left. And you give it enough time, and nobody's got any rights, and we wonder, well, how the hell did we get here? And then you have people like us trying to point it out, and then we're told we're idiots. Whatever. Let's see. Got one from last night that's just as ignorant as a lot of this. Democrat congressman to donate suit he wore during Capitol riot to Smithsonian says January 6th must never be forgotten. Because, I mean, God, it was so traumatic. Man, we have to stop letting them change the language. Tim Pool is 110% correct on this. And I've been saying, I think, long before him. We have to stop letting them change the language. Okay? This wasn't some... It certainly wasn't something I would deem a violent insurrection. Riot, borderline. Yeah. But a violent insurrection? No. Riot? Yeah. I'll give it riot. But not violent insurrection. Not even close. Sydney extends COVID lockdown for another week after New South Wales detects 27 new cases of game-changer Delta variant. Ex-cop Eric Adams poised to become next New York mayor after winning botched Democratic primary. Let's see. OPEC stalemate could spark new oil price war. Applications open for humanitarian We Are Together prize awarded to activists and groups that fight COVID-19. Contaminated waters can lead to meth addiction among fish, says a new study shows. So keep an eye on those fish. They might be tweaking, yo. Just saying. Following British warship incident, Moscow warns next foreign power to violate Black Sea borders and will get a punch in the nose. All right. I mean, I'm telling you, there's going to be another headline here that is going to play into this one. And I think we better pay close attention. You guys know I've been watching this. There's a reason I'm watching it. I'm watching the Russians. And now I'm watching for meth-addicted fish because, those ain't the goldfish from my grandma's day, right? These are the meth-head goldfish. Jeff Bezos' wealth soars above $211 billion after Pentagon calls off Microsoft contract. U.S. granted permission to appeal UK court decision blocking Julian Assange's extradition. Protests break out across Myanmar on anniversary of 1962 student demonstrations against First Junta. Chinese toy maker takes authenticity of space-themed product to the next level by including poster declaring spies will be decapitated. And here our toys are getting all woke. Right? China's toys are getting like, we'll decapitate you, and our toys are getting all woke, right? China brings back lockdown in city bordering Myanmar amid fourth wave of COVID-19 infections. As American forces leave Afghanistan, Russia may find itself squaring off with the Taliban in defense of its Central Asian allies. Russia's sovereign wealth fund cuts U.S. dollar reserves to zero. Haitian President Jovenel Moïse, and I'm sure I'm saying his name wrong, assassinated at home during the night, wife injured by gunshot, says the Prime Minister. And during the morning report for Patreon, I said I thought they may have both perished. That's not, that's incorrect. They didn't. She did not, at least the last I know, she did not perish from her injuries. So I was incorrect on that. But you guys all see the headline that made me think that. Let's see. Taliban continues crushing offensive with assault on northwestern provincial capital as U.S. nears full withdrawal from Afghanistan. Are ransomware attacks becoming the new norm for global companies? RT's boom bust finds out. It's not really a headline for an article. It's a more or less, it's a good article. That's why I shared it. Real world evidence clearly shows Russia's Sputnik 5 COVID-19 jab both safe and effective, British science journal Nature reports. Yeah. Yeah. Just reading the headlines. Not necessarily agreeing with them. Western European politicians arguing over whether to do business with Russia don't seem to realize they really have no choice. Let's see. Mexican YouTube star arrested on child porn charge after sharing video showing gang rape of teen. Don't know the whole story here, but from reading a little bit, it sounds like more or less she kind of started saying the victim deserved it, the victim was willing, I guess. It's pretty disgusting what she had to say. But I guess she also shared video online, and that probably not a smart idea. EU's von der Leyen condemns Hungary's anti-LGBTQ law in Hungary as it comes in force and threatens punishment. Let's see. Prepare for a rough landing. Russia tests dog parachutes as country develops technology to transport canines to rescue missions. And as I told Patreon, no, they're not chucking Fido out the door. That's not what's going on here. The dog is actually tethered to a human. So a human is going down with the dog. It's not like I say, they're chucking Fido out the door and saying good luck. It's not like that. But the dogs have to get acclimated and used to jumping out of a flying aircraft. So that's why they have to do the training. And it's actually really cool. I think it's a really cool program. And I hope it works well and saves a lot of lives. So, Ever Given finally set sail 3 months after causing global chaos by blocking Suez Canal. A German police raid homes of suspected jihadists linked to deadly Vienna shooting. Seoul to cut public transportation services, government molds toughest social distancing rules to fight new coronavirus surge. British warship in Crimean waters upset Russia and prompted stern warnings, but there's more to come, says confident UK government. Remember that other headline I pointed out about Russia saying that the next country that does it might get a bloodied nose? Well, this is the reply. Keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on this. U.S. pharmaceutical giant Johnson & Johnson wants to strike deal to supply its COVID-19 vaccine to Russia, a company rep reveals. White House offers condolences after Haiti president and first lady assassinated. This was the other headline that I did that made me think that maybe she had perished from her injuries as well. But then there'll be another headline yet. So, China bans construction of new super skyscrapers over safety concerns. Bodies of 19 people recovered from fatal passenger plane crash site in Russia's Far East region, rescuers say, as search continues. Instagram blocks Russian bishop who said refusing COVID-19 jabs is a sin after anti-vaxxers reportedly complained to social site. Lynching 2.0, 11 people get jail time for sending online death threats to French teenager who criticized Islam on Instagram. I've got a dog that... Hang on. She is the most ornery thing. I'm telling you, we humans, period, don't deserve that girl. She's incredible. And she gets frustrated when I do the news now for some reason and makes it known. Taliban fighters storm capital of Afghan province, taking over police headquarters and sparking mass prison break. Now she's in there drinking water as loudly as she can. 3 injured in 14 after 14 rockets hit coalition base in Iraq, U.S. confirms. She never drinks for this long. And it's like so loud. I know you guys probably can't hear it, but... Oh. Anyway, Russia scrambles 2 fighter jets as American P-8 Poseidon, I can't even talk, Poseidon plane flies over Black Sea during NATO military exercises. French ambassador to Lebanon slams PM for shifting blame for economic crisis from own mismanagement. UK schools are overtly politicizing classes on sex and gender issues despite laws mandating neutrality. Wow, I can't speak at all. Ofsted warns. Hang on. That might help a little bit. Let's see. Indonesian minister wants Fortnite banned over alleged in-game desecration of Islamic holy site. Stefan Löfven voted back in as Swedish Prime Minister after losing confidence vote and handing in resignation. Pets on Aeroflot flights to receive air miles as Russia's flag-carrying airline expands loyalty program to include dogs and cats. A Japanese woman arrested after squirting water at Olympic flame as anti-games protests continue. A nation should not lose gains by hastily dropping COVID-19 measures amid Europe's rise in cases, says WHO. Trump suing big tech giants Facebook, Google, and Twitter. House Republicans unveil plan to tackle big tech censorship, but no legislation yet. State of siege. Haitian PM declares nationwide state of emergency following president's assassination. COVID global death toll reaches grim milestone of 4 million fatalities, the WHO says. French government warns dangerous and quick Delta variant could ruin the summer. New documents show how the USSR's eventual World War II allies, France and Britain, wanted to bomb Soviet oil fields before the Hitler invasion. Tokyo to declare state of emergency amid COVID-19 rise just weeks before Olympic Games. America's life satisfaction reaches record high following pandemic and economic depression. Huh? I didn't read that article, but the headline don't even make sense. Let's see. Death toll at collapsed Florida high-rise climbs to 46 after workers recover 10 additional bodies. Twitter responds with mockery after FBI finds fully constructed Capitol Lego set in rioter's home. Yeah, so they making a big deal out of it because the guy had a Lego set of the Capitol building. America, dude? Maybe he did it. He built it because America? It's ridiculous. I guess we demonize people that want to have pride in anything. Right? Everybody's got to be a victim, I guess. Everybody's got to be miserable. Nobody can be happy, I guess. Ridiculous. U.S. Air Force Academy professor draws flack for op-ed urging military academies to teach critical race theory. It's confirmed. It's true. Fox News host Tucker Carlson says NSA leaked his emails to journalists. Let's see. France destroys drone mid-flight with laser cannon in test for Paris 2024 Olympics security strategy, the minister says. John McAfee's wife suggests Spanish authorities trying to cover up husband's death in prison. And this is the first I've heard of this in a little while. And I'm still standing behind my, I really don't know about this whole thing, Jazz. I mean, and that's all I'm saying. I mean, it may have been confirmed, double confirmed, triple confirmed. I don't know how this stuff works. I know he was due to be extradited to the United States. I don't know what a suicide entails in that instance. I don't know if U.S. authorities pick up the body, the corpse, and extradite it back to the country. I don't know if they send people to verify, you know, with a physical, visual, you know. I don't know. I don't know what they do in that case. There again, being that he's in Mexico, part of that I would believe would be would fall on whether or not Mexico wanted to hand over the corpse. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But money talks. You know what I'm saying? Money talks. Who's in charge? Most Americans, including nearly a third of Democrats, don't think Biden's fulfilling duties of president, says a poll. Really? A third? Oh, okay. Huge explosion rocks Dubai as container catches fire aboard ship anchored at local port, says the government. For medical and humanitarian reasons only, Tehran hits back after London, Paris, and Berlin voiced concerns over 20% enrichment. Yeah, they're freaking out about 20%, and yet they've been, what, 60% they've been producing? I don't know if they stopped doing it or not, or what's going on with that, but... overwhelmed Scottish hospitals declare code black status amid pressure of COVID-19 surge. Delta has now become the dominant variant in U.S. COVID cases, says the CDC. Bank cancels credit card of Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio, citing adverse legal action. Soldiers threaten to quit over mandatory jabs as Biden says door-to-door vaccines coming soon. And are you guys paying attention to this? I might do tomorrow night's show on this particular subject, this whole door-to-door thing. So that's a very real possibility. We'll see what happens throughout the day tomorrow. If something else comes up that I feel is more important to cover, well, we'll see. But if not, I think I'm going to talk about this whole door-to-door campaign tomorrow. So... former South African President Zuma surrenders to police and heads to jail after tense standoff over 15-month prison term. No chance of life for dozens missing in Miami high-rise collapse, fire department says, as rescue effort shifts to recovering remains. Suspected assassins of Haitian President Jovenel, I said his name wrong, are arrested, says their government. Florida City greenlights Elon Musk's underground loop tunnel project. Let's see. NSA spied on Fox News host Tucker Carlson because he sought interview with Putin, says reports. You mean that whole thing to where they didn't spy on them, but really did spy on them? Yeah. It's ridiculous. I got two more here. Arizona Attorney General, greatly alarmed by Biden's door-to-door vaccine push, says he won't tolerate any invasion of privacy. So again, tomorrow I'll probably be talking about that. Rudy Giuliani's D.C. law license suspended pending outcome of New York case over his election fraud claims. So that's that. That's the headlines. I am going to wrap it up and get out of here. I can't believe I still beat 9 o'clock by a few minutes. Nah, I'm going to get out of here, and I got a few things to finish up around here and get to bed. So I'm usually up right around 4:30 a lot of mornings. So it comes kind of early. And so, yeah, I like to be snoozing. Anyway, I hope you all have a good evening. Keep an eye on things, folks, and open your minds, you know. Different isn't necessarily bad. It's just different. And you don't have to embrace it. You don't have to embrace it. But at the same time, doesn't mean it's inherently bad. So anyway, I hope everybody has a good evening. We'll be back tomorrow, God willing. Hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit, and shalom.